It's the fact that he wanted to be as far away from the Father as he could. And so he took all that he had and he went to the far country. And the problem is when he went to the far country, look at verse 13, he wasted his substance with riotous living. The word riotous doesn't mean like causing riots. It's talking about loose living. It's talking about wasteful living. It's talking about squandering what God has given us. And by the way, we have all been guilty of that. And one of the scourge of our society is we're wasting the most precious commodity that we have, and that's time. And so the Bible makes it very clear about wasteful living. In fact, in Proverbs 18:9, it says, he that is slothful in his work is a brother to him that is a great waster. And so he wasted. Now, A.W. Tozer said, a man who is not thankful for God's grace is like a beggar who despises bread. The heart that scorns God's mercy is the heart that destroys itself. And I have seen over and over again this pursuit of self-entitlement, the pursuit of self-discovery, whatever you want to call it. And let me just gently talk to those under 30 and tell you, listen, you can try to look for self-importance and self-satisfaction and self-significance in all of the places the world says you'll find it. But I just want to give you a little tip from the Word of God. They're all empty wells. And you will search and you will get just enough to want a little bit more. And you'll get just enough to be a little bit more hungry. And it will drive you to be unfulfilled. And that's what letter C, the entitled life, is unfulfilling. At the end of this pursuit of self-discovery and self-fulfillment, he's so unfulfilled. This is what sin does, is it leaves you more empty than when you started. And so he says in verse 14, Jesus says, and he went and he spent all. There rose a mighty famine in the land. By the way, God will bring you to the end of your resources and the end of your strength to show you that you're empty. And he began to be in want. In verse 15, and he went and joined himself to a citizen of a country. Now we know that this is outside of Israel in the story because he went into the fields in verse 15 and he fed the swine. This was not something a Jewish kid would find himself doing. He fed the pigs. And in verse 16, he would fain that he had filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, but no man would give him. They wouldn't even give him what the swine had to eat. He was still hungry. In fact, in verse 17 at the end, it says that he perished with hunger. And it wasn't that Jesus was sitting down eating this bread talking about this hungry guy because he was trying to get them to desire to fast. That's not the idea at all. He was trying to create hunger and thirst for God. He was trying to develop an appetite for God. He said, hey, there was this young man and he was hungry and he was driven to do something different because of how empty he was. And I want to say that if God has ever brought you to rock bottom, if God has ever brought you to where you're so hungry and thirsty that you are searching for him, I want to tell you that's a moment of grace. That's a moment where you can turn to him.